by Honda. At the Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody, and the moms are being treated out in the WestJet flight deck area to some great treatment. It's also Kevin Pillar jersey giveaway day with the Superman cape. Great afternoon of baseball. Kevin Pillar was signing many autographs in those jerseys prior to the ball game, and it's a beautiful afternoon. The roof is wide open, just the second time that has happened, and this is the rubber match of this three-game series between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Take a look at the lineup for Boston. Mookie Betts top of the order. Andrew Benintendi. He's got a 5-game hit streak. He had 3 hits in the game yesterday. He's 7 for his last 22 with 3 extra base hits. And then down in the 7th spot, Brock Holt has been tough on the Blue Jays this season. He's 8 for 14 with 3 doubles and 2 RBIs. He's back in the lineup here this afternoon against Joe Biagini.
Need a good one from Joe this afternoon. Joe's pitched 3 times now as a starter. The other 2 game 2s of the 2 doubleheaders that the Blue Jays have played this season. He's looking for his first win since July of last season when he beat Oakland. He's had some tough outings against the Red Sox in his career. He's 0-2 in 2 starts. The last one right here, he allowed a career-high 7 earned runs to the Red Sox. So he needs to come up big for the Blue Jays to win this series.
And the first man he will face has been tough on him in the past. The leadoff hitter, Mookie Betts, is 6 for 11 against Biagini with a pair of home runs. Mookie in this series is 3 for 10. He scored 3 runs. He is the top run scorer in all of baseball. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. A festive atmosphere here at Rogers Center on this Mother's Day. You can see the pink hats worn by the Blue Jays, Red Sox as well.
We featured Betts in the opening today, one of the good young outfielders playing in this afternoon's game. So I went back and looked at all of the leaders in the American League, and he's everywhere. Batting average, home runs, slugging percentage, total bases. When you look at him, you say, this is the guy who's doing all of that kind of damage, but he does it with a great bat speed.
Terrific player on both sides of the baseball. Great defender, a good base runner, power, speed. He does everything. 2-1. Pulled on the ground. Foul ball. When you try to get a gauge on players in this day and age with all the stats, a lot of general managers put a lot of stock into these numbers right here.
Yeah, the on base plus the slugging. What are you doing to get on base to help the team score runs, and do you have extra base pop? Well, in all of baseball, Mookie Betts is #1. There's no holes in his swing. He can handle any type of pitch anywhere it's thrown in the strike zone. Came alive yesterday with 3 hits, a couple of doubles.
Ball in the dirt. Betts is on pace to score 166 runs. The Red Sox franchise record is a 150 by none other than Ted Williams. And Betts is just 25 years old. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Biagini. It is called strike 3, and Betts knew it. He'll pack that pink bat back to the dugout. Defensively, the Blue Jays have had a tough time lately. They've committed 10 errors in their last 12 games in the month of May. Pillar is in center, and you can see the new shortstop, another shortstop starting for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, 3 in 3 days now, different ones. Richard Urania will get to start his first start at shortstop this season. He's made 16 starts at shortstop for his Blue Jays last season. And Biagini throws a lot of ground balls, so the shortstop could be important today.
Here's Andrew Benintendi. As we mentioned, he's got a 5-game hit streak, 7 for 22 during that hit streak. Benintendi's just 23 years old. Change up in the dirt, 2-0. Benintendi, like Mookie Betts, had 3 hits in the game yesterday. He's just 1 for 6 against Joe Biagini in his career.
Tough to defend him because he can hit the ball where it's pitched and all over the ballpark. His double, one of his doubles went to left center field yesterday. He's also pulled a ball to right field. Had a couple of RBIs in the game.
Yeah, the Blue Jays alignment would reflect the fact they're not really sure where to play. Basically straight away on the infield and outfield. There's a line drive to left. Anthony Alford gets over to cut it off, and Benintendi starting to really hit up.
Got a nice little hit streak going now. That's 6 in a row.
Well, Hanley Ramirez isn't in the lineup today, but he's having a lot of fun so far. He has been decked out in that catcher's gear for about the last half hour.
What gave it away that he wasn't playing today?
That is a good look, isn't it? Hanley's had a lot of fun with that. He's been in the dugout bugging his teammates, bugging the coaches, having a good time with it. High fly ball to right. This ball's got a chance to go, and it will. J.D. Martinez had his hit streak snapped yesterday at 12, but that home run is his 10th of the season. Another opposite field home run is 6th of the season this year.
He's got as much power as anybody the other way. What's interesting about the whole thing is how he is off the plate. So you think you can throw fastballs away to him, but you're throwing it right into his power stroke. Usually when guys are off the plate, they like the ball in. But you can see he can just go down and get it. There's a way that he elevates that ball to right field. And that had that distinctive sound that we've heard before. That was a no-doubter to right.
Home run number 10 for Martinez. RBIs 31 and 32. A quick lead for the Red Sox.
What a signing for Boston. Last year at this time, they had only 34 home runs through 39 games. That was their 54th. And he's been the big difference.
Ground ball. Solarte from the outfield will throw to first. Moreland's retired. 2 away. So that'll bring Xander Bogaerts to the plate. Bogaerts has a home run in this series. That came on Friday night. Bogaerts has just come off the disabled list. He had a fractured ankle, suffered on a defensive play when he slid into the visitors' dugout at Fenway Park. 2 outs, nobody on.
Got to find that curveball. He has not been able to locate it here in the early parts of this ball game. Fastball looks pretty good. His cutter, he's been improving that while he was down in the minor leagues. And another thing they wanted to do is get him to work a little bit quicker. There's a good curveball.
Piagini was 0-3 in 4 starts in AAA with the Bisons. They had a .457 earned run average. Ball on a strike to Bogaerts. Bouncing ball toward third. Donaldson cuts in front of the shortstop, and that'll end the inning. But the Red Sox break out on top. J.D. Martinez hits his 10th home run of the season. It's his 41st home run since the All-Star break last year. Only Stanton has more. win the series against the Red Sox. They already find themselves down 2-0. 21-19 for the Blue Jays this season. Top of the order, Teoscar Hernandez over his last 4 games, hitting .353. 3 doubles and a home run. And then in that third spot, Justin Smoak this season against left-handed pitching, hitting .320 with a pair of doubles and 2 home runs, and that's who he's dealing with today, another left-hander.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row in this series. Drew Pomeranz, just his 5th start of the season. Last year he went 17-6 for the Red Sox, allowed 2 runs or fewer in a major league leading 23 starts last year. This year a little bit of a rough start to his season. Last time out better against the Yankees. His only problem, he gave up a couple of solo home runs to Giancarlo Stanton, but he gave him 6 innings and just 2 earned runs allowed.
His overall velocity is starting to tick up. It was down early in the season, but it's gotten better with each start. Curveball misses, 1-1. Pomeranz's velocity last year averaged 91.3 miles an hour. At the start of this season, it was 88.6. But it's gotten better with each start. Last time out, it was up to 89. Ball and a strike. Another curveball.
That's his best pitch right there. That knuckle curveball, if you want to call it, or that spike curveball. He too has got to get it in. Last 4 starts versus the Blue Jays all last year. He won his first 3 starts, and then the Blue Jays really got him in his final start.
Comes right back with the curveball again. He's got a lot of confidence in that curveball. And it's a true overhand curveball. You mentioned it's a knuckle curveball. He creates a lot of downward spin with it. Two balls and 2 strikes, the Blue Jays leadoff man. We saw a little bit of this in last night's game with the catcher Vasquez and the starting pitcher having trouble getting together.
Even with nobody on, they are going to go through a series of signs just so there's no sign stealing.
Fastball foul chip. Pomeranz has had trouble in the first inning this season. His ERA is 13.5. So the Blue Jays might want to get on him early.
They got Chris Sale early on the other day, but then he kicked it into high gear.
Yeah, they made him mad.
I think a lot of that has to do with Pomeranz's curveball, trying to find the feel for that curveball early on. He's going to throw it a lot.
That's a great point. You come into a ball game as a starter, you got to make the adjustment first, trying to get comfortable on the mound. Got to get in control of your adrenaline. Everybody's heart beats a little bit quicker when they start the ball game. High fastball. Now it's a full count. Josh Donaldson waits on deck. Josh just 5 for his last 30 over a span of his last 8 games. Curveball caught on the line by Bogarts at shortstop. 1 away. Let's take a look at the rest of the defense. The Red Sox have committed 20 errors this season. They've got a great outfield with Benintendi, Bradley, and Betts, and they've got some of the best defenders in all of the American League.
There's one right there. Started for the American League in the last 2 All-Star games, 1 in center, 1 in right. Gold Glove winner in 16 and 17. He also won a Fielding Bible award in 2016 and 17 as the top defensive right fielder in all of baseball. So on top of being a great offensive player.
You see what he just said to the center fielder? I can't see. That's always a good thing for the Blue Jays when the outfielder can't pick up the baseball, but it's very bright. He's got the sunglasses on. Anything in the air to right, he's going to look directly up into that bright sun. There's not a cloud in the sky here this afternoon. Donaldson takes ball 2. It's 2-0 to Josh. Josh just 2 for 14 going up against Drew Pomeranz, but he has a homer.
Yeah, I like his chances today. It should be a good matchup for Donaldson, especially in these counts.
Curveball Hit into the air to left field, and that's going to get down in front of Benintendi. Bounce over his head. Donaldson is headed for second. He better hurry. Head first slide. He's in there. So Josh picks up his 6th double. Benintendi looked like he wasn't really sure about how far that ball was going to carry. It bounced over Benintendi, and Bradley was there to back him up.
And when the sun hits this turf, it really makes the turf very spongy. The Blue Jays catch a break because this ball, first of all, it's covered by Donaldson to left field. And watch when it hits the turf. It bounces over his head. No chance for Benintendi. Jackie Bradley backing up. He's got a great arm and an accurate arm. So Donaldson's got a hustles his way in for a double.
Justin Smoak. Mentioned Smoak hitting .320 against lefty pitching this season. And a pair of home runs and 2 doubles. Smoak is 4 for 11 going up against Pomerantz. He's reached base in 8 of his last 15 plate appearances batting against the Red Sox lefty. So he has seen him well.
They flipped him. He and Solarte. Solarte was hitting 3rd yesterday, Smoak 4th. They wanted to get him up in that first inning. His numbers are a little bit better against Pomerantz.
The double by Donaldson was his 100th career double as a Blue Jay. He has really come into his own hitting in this ballpark, hitting as a Blue Jay. MVP in 2015. Well, they need him to start swinging like Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, the offense has a different look when he starts hitting.
Smoak with the count in his favor. 3-0 now. Well, the Blue Jays need to answer the Red Sox in the bottom of the first here. Boston got a 2-run home run from J.D. Martinez. The Jays have lost 6 of the last 7 games they've played on Mother's Day. The only one they won was the Kevin Pillar walk-off a year ago. That was against Seattle. 3-0. Smoak rarely swings on a 3-0 count.
I think we've seen it maybe one time in all of the time that Smokey's been here, and we've asked him, hey, do you like swinging 3-0? Nah, I'm going to get the same pitch 3-1 as I am going to get 3-0. Pomerantz doesn't look like he wants to pitch to him.
Boy, he is very methodical in his approach in this first inning. And we mentioned his ERA in the first inning this season, 13.5.
They are doing a lot to disguise their signs, especially now with a runner at second base.
3-1 to Smoak. Ball 4. He didn't want much to do with Smoak at all. He really was very cautious in pitching to Justin. So Smokey will take the walk, and that'll bring Solarte to the plate. I know one thing. Drew Pomerantz didn't go to the Mark Burley School of Pitching. He is very, very deliberate in his pitching.
He doesn't really look comfortable out there. You wonder if it has to do with the blister and the fingernail problems that he has had his last couple starts.
Last Wednesday he had problems with that. Or actually it was Tuesday in New York. Solarte hitting cleanup this afternoon. Never had a hit against Pomerantz. And he looks at a ball inside, and you're right. It might be exactly what's bothering Pomerantz, because he certainly doesn't look comfortable.
Not at all.
He has been dealing with that blister issue, and you'd certainly think that it's something that might cause him problems. He's thrown 17 pitches, only 7 strikes. Bends that breaking ball in there for a strike. Pomerantz was a former #1 pick of the Cleveland Indians in 2010. He was the 5th pick overall out of the University of Mississippi. But then he was traded from Cleveland to Colorado as a player to be named later for Ubaldo Jimenez in August of 2011. pulled foul. Pomerantz has been involved in some big trades. He went from Colorado to Oakland for Brent Anderson. And then he was traded by Oakland to San Diego for Yonder Alonso and Mark Zebczynski.
And then over here for a very good young pitching prospect who hasn't really gotten it on track yet for San Diego.
Anderson Espinoza, now 20 years old, but he's been injured since 2016 and hasn't pitched for San Diego. 1-2 to Solarte. Lays off that high fastball. The Red Sox this season in series finales are 11-1. They know how to finish.
Yeah, great numbers there and great numbers against right-handed starters this year. Might have to outslug them today.
2-2 to Solarte. Ground ball up the middle. Knocked down by Holt. Flipped to second in time, and Holt just saved a run for Pomerantz. Brock Holt getting a start at second base, just his 7th start of the season at second. Dives, gloves it, and had the presence to flip to Bogaerts at second for the force out.
That ball looked like it was heading right back through the middle for an RBI single. Right through the legs of Pomerantz, but there's Holt. He's playing close to the bag for the double play anyway. Thought maybe he could just knock it down and it would be an infield hit, bases loaded. No, he was able to get the out at second base, really helping out his starter.
Terrific play by Brock Holt. Certainly a momentum changer to this point. That ball gets through. The Blue Jays are on the board, and all of a sudden it's a different look. Now Kevin Pillar has to deliver with 2 outs. Kevin batting .316 for the season. The Jays as a team have hit just .222 against lefty pitching this season. They are 8-8 against lefty starters.
Hard to believe with all the right-handed firepower that they have. But just like Mookie Betts has been the catalyst for the Boston Red Sox offense, Pillar has had a great start to his season. This is the guy I think you want up there hitting right now with runners in scoring position.
Kevin has really had a great start to the season. He's first in the majors with doubles. He leads the Jays in hits and average. Tough pitch down and away.
That's okay. You don't have to swing at that until you get to 2 strikes. There's the hot start we were talking about. #1 on the team in hits, runs, doubles, total bases. And again, this is the guy you want up there. He's been hitting the ball solidly to right field.
Kevin is batting .292 with 2 strikes this season. That's 8th best in the American League. And that's where he's at right now. He's behind a ball and 2 strikes. Donaldson's at third. He hit a double. Solarte's at first on the fielder's choice. This is painfully slow from Pomerantz and Vasquez. They have had a terrible time getting together on the same page, and there's no runner at second right now.
You can see they're still going through all of the signs. They're worried about the double steal.
Inside.
They've gone out a couple of times to throw up some signs for the defense in case the Blue Jays try the double steal.
David Price, very similar to Pomerantz in his pace and tempo. He was good yesterday. Very good. Two balls and 2 strikes. Now it's a full count. So with 2 outs, Solarte, the runner at first, will be moving on the pitch. Donaldson will hold at third. Russ Martin is on deck should Pillar reach to keep the inning going. Boston leads it 2-0. Breaking ball bounced back to the mound, and Pomerantz will flip to first. Drew Pomerantz needed 27 pitches to get out of the first inning. The Blue Jays strand a pair of runners. Boston has a 2-0 lead early on.
Day. So it's only fitting that we had Pilar's mom, Wendy, help us with the ceremonial first pitch. And Kevin told me that Wendy is an amazing mom. She was a real trooper when he was growing up, had her hands full raising 2 boys, but Kevin quickly added, quote, with my dad, it was really like raising 3 boys in the household. Wendy, I'm told, was quite the athlete growing up. She loved sports. She still plays tennis and never missed a game Kevin and or his brother played it. Mother's Day last year, if you remember, was special for the Pilar family. Pilar with the walk-off home run against the Mariners. He said next to his major league debut, that day was the most satisfying day of his career. It was his first ever game-winning home run. His mom was in the stands, and so was his wife Amanda, who was pregnant with their daughter Kobe at the time. But Kevin told me it still gives him chills when he thinks back about that memorable afternoon. Now we know where Kevin gets his superpowers from. It was from Wendy. It's from his mom, and we want to wish you, Hazel, happy Mother's Day, and all the moms out there. And certainly ball players have had a lot of impact with their mothers. Of course, moms always take the boys to the practices, and they're there when dad can't be there. He's off working, so it's a special day for baseball. And Blue Jays and baseball have been wearing pink since 2006 as part of the Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer initiative through Major League Baseball. Devers waves at that breaking ball. There's donations, there's auctions of the game-worn jerseys and memorabilia throughout the course of this day. That'll all be online at MLB.com, and the funds go to the Susan G. Komen and the Stand Up to Cancer organizations to fund cancer research for breast cancer. Bases will be auctioned off. The umpires are into the spirit as well. It's a great day to honor moms, and it's always a great day to raise awareness of breast cancer for sure. Devers swings and misses at the high fastball. Second strikeout for Biagini. Well, the Blue Jays and many clubs across Major League Baseball take great care of the moms on Mother's Day. Little Blue Jay logo on the fingernails. They get maked up, they get treated and pampered here at Rogers Center. And everybody is having a good time. It's a beautiful day for Mother's Day, obviously. Mother's Day is special to so many players, and baseball puts out all kinds of stats. You know who has the most home runs on Mother's Day?
Active player?
Active player.
I do not know.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto.
How about that? Toronto's own Joey Votto. He's got 5 home runs on Mother's Day. And then there are 4 players that have hit 3. Robinson Cano, Ryan Braun, Albert Pujols, and Chris Davis of the Orioles. Here is Brock Holt. You can credit Holt with a run saved already. He made a nice defensive play, keeping the ball on the infield and starting a force out 4-6 at second.
He is playing second base today. If you're wondering where Dustin Pedroia is, Pedroia normally their second baseman. He's going to start a rehab next week. was down in extended spring training. That ended for him. I think he's going to go out on a rehab on Monday, hoping to get their spark plug back at second base soon.
So hold strikes on, back-to-back strikeouts for Biagini here in the second.
Well, when he's got that fastball working and when he's got that cutter working and then the curveball, I think this is such a big pitch for him. If he can get this over, he'll have a good day. He got Betts on a fastball. That time he got Holt with a curveball. There's no question that he can pitch in the big leagues and be effective when he's got that pitch thrown for a strike.
Christian Vasquez, the catcher, takes strike one. Vasquez batting a .186 early on, 19 for 102. A cutter off the plate, ball in the strike. Biagini certainly has quickened up his tempo. He was very methodical and very quick.
He credits the clock down in the minor leagues to help him in helping him quicken up the pace.
Breaking ball hit to right. Hernandez gets over there, makes a nice running catch to take a hit away from Christian Vasquez. Hernandez getting more comfortable with each game out in the outfield in right field. This is his 17th start of the season, and he robs Vasquez of extra bases.
Infield. Martin flashing some skills yesterday at third base, first tagging out Christian Vasquez in the 7th inning, and then showing off that arm strength, making a strong throw across the diamond to get the speedy Mookie Betts in the 5th inning. Martin said he's the catcher he is today because of his work as an infielder in his youth. According to Martin, when he's at third base or shortstop, he feels more like that little boy who fell in love with baseball. Behind the plate, he said he's more involved, more to think about. It's more work, more business for him. Martin always wanted to be like Ozzie Smith. He won't get many opportunities at shortstop with the Blue Jays, but he said, quote, "Watch out if that happens, Buck." He said with a laugh, "I like to show off my skills at short as well."
Yes, he does, and he had a desire to play for Team Canada at WBC at shortstop. But that didn't work out, and he has looked good in his 2 starts over at third base.
Yeah, he has. What is it about players who want to be pitchers, everyday players, and pitchers who want to be everyday players? Catchers now wanting to play different positions.
Martin hammers that first pitch curveball from Pomerantz and rips it into left field. Pomerantz with that get me over curveball gives up a leadoff single to Martin.
I tell you, they are seeing that curveball. You can see it out of his hand. It's a slow and deliberate curveball. This is about 75 miles an hour. Russell jumps all over that one. He'll throw it about 37% of the time this year.
Well, Kendrys Morales, he needs to get it going with the bat. He is 1 for his last 32 over his last 8 games. That one hit was an opposite field double to snap an 0 for 28. .146 on the season for Morales. He and Russell Martin came into this game with identical numbers. They were both 13 for 89. Both hitting 146 at the start of play. You're right. I think Blue Jays are really picking up the ball well out of Pomerantz's hands so far.
I think that's his fastball command has got to be a little bit better, because that curveball, they're all over it. They can see it right out of his hand, right out of that window.
Breaking ball. Martin's not sure where the ball is, so he couldn't advance. He didn't pick up the baseball. It was right behind Vasquez. The catcher didn't locate it quickly. But when you're not sure, you got to stay put.
Yeah, especially if you're down by a couple of runs. This is the pitch usage. 55% of the time he's going to throw that fastball. There's curveball, cuts it and changes it every now and then. The fastball, they've hit 232 against him this year, and they've hit 16 home runs off of the fastball.
Morales will swing 3-0. And he takes a borderline strike. That strike call surprised him. 3-1 now with Martin at first.
You've got a power hitter up there representing the tying run. You're ahead in the count, 3-0. Swing away.
So there's a ball 4. So the first two reach here. The pitch tracker is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of Major League Baseball. Pitching coach Dana Levangie out to talk to Pomerantz, and obviously they're very concerned about the elevated pitch count. He has thrown more balls than strikes and thrown 33 pitches overall. Nobody out here in the second.
Yeah, to get 3 outs. Blue Jays right now, their at bats look very comfortable, so they're seeing the ball from Pomerantz. Last time out again, he only gave up 4 hits in 6 innings, a couple of home runs to Giancarlo Stanton, and that was it.
Anthony Alford. Anthony had his first big league RBI yesterday against David Price. He takes the first pitch strike.
Corners are going to back up now. They thought he might be bunting. Too early. Too early in the game. Nobody out. You don't want to give away an out. Plus, I don't think you have the right guys on the bases to be bunting too.
Ball on a strike now. Pomerantz really battling his control.
Yeah.
You just have to wonder if that finger is the root of the problem.
Well, he would let him know if it was, and you might see somebody get up, but nobody's throwing in the bullpen.
Well, their bullpen has been overused lately too, so he might have to just try to work his way through this. Alfred shoots it down the right side, but that's going to slice foul. Martin singled to start the inning. Morales walked behind him. So there's first and second with nobody out. Alfred hitting in the 8th spot in the order. Anthony was 1 for 3 in the game yesterday. He reached base twice. Strike 3 call. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire, rings up Alfred on that outside fastball. That's the first strikeout of the ball game for Pomerantz. We have been given a notice from Major League Baseball that due to a pregame technical issue with the replay system, each club will be afforded its normal manager's challenge, but they will have unlimited crew chief reviews for the remainder of the game. So something came up with the video review system so the umpires can review plays throughout the day. Jerry Meos is the crew chief, and he went over to check with the video review crew here at Rogers Center, and there's a technical issue that has shut it down for the day. Richard Urania, a switch hitter, making the start at shortstop. Urania making his first start of the season at short. Richard had his first career pinch hit in the 7th inning off Hector Velasquez. Ball and a strike to the number 9 hitter. The Blue Jays stranded 2 in the first. They've got 2 aboard here in the 2nd. They had a double and a walk in the first. They have a single and a walk here in the 2nd. Nice play by Vasquez to keep the runners in their spots. This ball is fouled off by Urania, and it's a big active crowd here. Nice job by that fella. A one-handed bare-hand grab.
No glove, and he saved everybody around him with that great play.
Outside.
Isn't it amazing how day in and day out things change, especially for the Blue Jays at shortstop? We've seen Diaz. Alebnis is going to head out and head down to Florida, start a little running program to get that ankle back. We asked him yesterday, how's it feel? Does he get close to playing a game? He says, no, I'm going to start running now. Giovanni Urshela, we saw him play shortstop yesterday. Urania today. So a lot of goings on at shortstop for the Jays.
Gurriel started at short on Friday. He has since been sent to the minors. Deck McGuire was called up from AAA Buffalo, and he is in the Blue Jays bullpen. Teoscar Hernandez lined out to short in his first at bat. Full count, 1 out. Martin's at 2nd. Morales is at 1st. Breaking ball called, strike 3. So Pomerantz strikes out Alford and Urania. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Johnny Vandermeer, of course, the only pitcher in Major League history to throw back-to-back no-hitters for the Reds. Teoscar Hernandez goes after the first pitch.
Do you think that that's the record in baseball, all of baseball history, that will never be broken? You have to pitch 3 straight no-hitters. Think about that.
Yeah, that's one of them for sure. And
3 straight no-hitters. It's never going to happen.
I don't think Joe DiMaggio's record will ever be broken either. 56 straight games with a hit.
It could. I bet it happens before a guy throws 3 straight no-hitters.
You're on. Popped up, and that's headed for the seats, and Moreland will give it a look.
Maybe the no-hitters will come about. Did you see the Jim Cott was talking about changing the games to 7 innings? Now, if they do that, they might do that.
That's a good point. And Paxton, well, you know, he obviously threw the no-hitter last time out against the Blue Jays. Paxton has 76 strikeouts in 47 2/3 innings. That's the 3rd best strikeout rate per 9 innings in the majors. Fly ball right field. Mookie Betts looking up into that bright sun. Now he sees it and makes a running catch. He's a terrific athlete. He stayed with it until it came out of the sun. So the Blue Jays strand 2 more. They've left 4 on early in this ball game.
20,000 fans will receive this Let's Go Blue Jays bath towel presented by Boston Pizza. Then watch your Toronto Blue Jays host the Oakland Athletics at a 1:07 p.m. Eastern start time. For tickets, visit bluejays.com. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Oakland is in New York, and they are in a delay. It is raining on the East Coast. Philly hosting the Mets. They, too, are in a rain delay.
One of those games got rained out yesterday, didn't it?
Philly.
Mets Philly?
Yeah. They have rescheduled it as part of a doubleheader. Joe Biagini, he had a very good second inning of work. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. He worked to the number 9 hitter, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Keep that feel for that curveball. It was beautiful last inning.
You see the shift. Donaldson, the third baseman, playing straight away at second, and Solarte would be deeper, but Bradley runs well, so he can't play too deep in right.
And Jackie has really struggled offensively the last, I don't know, week or two. This would be a perfect time for him to drop a bunt down.
Wouldn't it?
Drop it down to the third base side right there.
Leading off the inning, Bradley is 3 for his last 43. And he wails at that curveball, 1-2.
I mean, if you're going to give the guy, if they're going to give it to you, why not take it? Especially if you're, and that can do a lot for your confidence.
Especially if you're leading off the inning.
Yes, and you can run like that.
And you got Betts and Benintendi behind you.
Sure makes a lot of sense to me. Even if you don't feel comfortable bunting the ball to third base, because they're so deep on the right side, you can even drag it up on the second base side if you want to. With that kind of speed.
Bounced in front of home plate. Now it's 2-2. Joe Biagini gave up 2 runs on 2 hits in the first, including a J.D. Martinez 2-run home run. Curveball bounced foul. Boston has won 14 of the last 18 games they've played here at Rogers Center. They're wrapping up a 10-game road trip. Texas, New York, Toronto. They're 5-4 on the road trip to this point.
They got off to a blistering start. I mean, blistering. 17-2 right out of the chute. But since then, they've only gone 10-10.
And Biagini walks Bradley. A leadoff walk here in the third. When the Red Sox pick up play tomorrow at Fenway, they will have 13 of their next 16 games at home. Mookie Betts. He was called out on a 3-2 fastball his first time up. Ball in the dirt. The Red Sox have really pretty much run at will against the Blue Jays. Christian Vasquez was thrown out trying to steal third in the game yesterday. It's the first time they've had a base runner caught in their last 24 stolen base attempts against the Blue Jays. There goes Bradley. He shut her down. He took off, didn't like his jump, and hustled back to first.
Yeah, managers will give fast runners the option. Hey, if you get a jump, go ahead and take it at any time you want. It's called the green light. He got a jump, but then didn't like it. Said, you know what? Not happy with that one. I better hustle back.
Well, I thought he had a pretty good jump. One to Betts. Breaking ball for strike 2. Mookie Betts has scored 41 runs in the first 39 games. That's one more than Ted Williams scored in 1942. The most since 1908 by a Red Sox hitter.
Just quietly doesn't, just comes out and just does his thing day after day.
There goes Bradley, pulled foul by Betts. Yeah, the Red Sox, they've got speed, they've got athletes. Alex Cora likes that style of play. Of course, they've hit more home runs this year than they did last year with the addition of J.D. Martinez. And Martinez is the only change from last season.
And it's a big change. It's a guy in the middle of the lineup that makes everybody around him better. Mookie Betts, first part of spring training, was told by Alex Cora, I want you to hit leadoff, and I want you to be that aggressive guy that we saw a few years ago. They weren't really sure where to bat him last year. Using 3 and 4 and 2. Well, they were moving him all over the place. Alex Cora got the job, said, you're my leadoff hitter. You're the guy, you're going to lead off. I want you to do some damage from that leadoff spot.
Fastball, he fouled it straight back. The first time that Cora met with Betts in Boston back in January, he said, I want you to be ready to hit from the first pitch of the ball game. He said, you're too good to worry about taking pitches. He said, you know what would make me happy? That you hit the first pitch you see from Chris Archer opening day out of the ballpark. And Betts has taken it to heart.
Well, just look at the leaderboard again. He's all over the leaderboard and all the stats that you want from an offensive player.
There goes Bradley. Another foul back by Betts.
That one looked like a cutter. That time, and he fouled it off, and it keeps his at bat alive. And here's what we're talking about. Last year, 803 batting, or excuse me, on base plus slugging, OPS. That's pretty good. An 800 OPS is pretty good. Well, he's 50% better this year at 1.2. 29 extra base hits. And he has really hit the Blue Jays hard over the years.
Off the plate outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mookie Betts leads the majors in that category with 1.215 OPS. Then Mike Trout, Manny Machado, Aaron Judge, Chris Bryant, really the who's who of hitters in baseball.
Sluggers. I mean, does he look like your typical slugger? No, he's just a great hitter.
There goes Bradley again, and there's a base hit through the right side. Bradley steps on second and heads to third as Mookie Betts has another terrific at bat. He fouled off tough pitches and then got one out over the plate and just bounced it through the right side of the infield.
Blue Jays guessed wrong also on who was going to cover. It was an outside fastball, but the second baseman was covering, so that opened up that whole right side. There goes Bradley. There goes the second baseman. That's easy pickings right there on an outside fastball. Just stick your bat out there.
Can a hitter pick up on the middle infielder covering?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you break too soon, sure, he's standing right behind you. And I think Betts did that and just slowed his swing down a little bit, just hit a little ground ball. And it's now first and third.
That's the danger of walking the number 9 hitter. First and third, nobody out. Betts fakes a break at first. Well, by faking that break at first, he got the infield moving. Everybody on the infield was in motion once Betts made a move towards second.
And you know what that did? That gave Andrew Benintendi a heads up of who's going to cover on a certain pitch if he decides to go later in the count. It looked like the shortstop was covering when he broke. That is a big lead at first base.
Not running here. Inside strike to Benintendi. 1-1.
This is what we were talking about right here. Watch Betts break, take a couple of steps, and the shortstop starts moving. As a hitter, you see that and put it in the back of your mind.
Betts looks like he wants to run again. You know, there has been the de-emphasis of the stolen base, but this is a perfect example of how it can be a weapon. Sometimes the threat of a stolen base is as valuable as the stolen base itself with a good hitter at the plate like Benintendi.
Catcher starts putting down more ones. One, I need a fastball. You have a pretty good fastball hitter at the plate in Benintendi.
That's not running. Pulled foul by Benintendi. But even the fact that you're splitting the pitcher's attention between home plate, where the dangerous hitter is, and first base, where the base stealer is. Benintendi's batting just .255 at the start of play, but his average with runners in scoring position 100 points higher.
Extended a hit streak his last time up with that base hit, 6 games.
He's 8 for 23 during that 6-game hit streak. Two balls and 2 strikes. There goes Betts. Popped in the air. Left field. Mookie Betts headed back toward first base. He goes back and he tags. And then they overthrow the cutoff man. Mookie Betts saw the pop-up, went all the way to second, and then hustled back to tag. And had he been paying close attention to that high throw, he could have gone to second.
Yeah, he was tagging up just in case there was going to be a play at the plate. It's not that deep. Watch Mookie. He takes off, looks back over his shoulder, sees that it's a fly ball. Now he hustles back again, tags up. The bluff by Bradley draws the throw, and he had every intention of getting into scoring position.
Well, Benintendi pops out to the left fielder. J.D. Martinez homered his first time up, an opposite field home run. The Red Sox, with that Martinez home run in the first, have now homered in 12 of their last 13 games. So not only do they hit for a high average, they hit with power.
The run producer that they were really missing last year. Since the All-Star break of last year, he's driven over 100 runs, and this is 2 more. Off that back wall to right field. What other right-handed power hitter in baseball has that opposite field type of power? Maybe Aaron Judge.
There goes Betts inside. Martin can't find the handle. So Mookie Betts will pick up another stolen base. That's his 6th of the season. He's only been caught 1 time.
Stay out of the double play. You got some speed at first base, let him take off. Stay out of the double play, get another runner in scoring position for a big RBI man.
For Betts, that's his 2nd stolen base in the series. 2 balls and a strike to Martinez.
You mentioned that he had his 12-game hit streak snapped yesterday. And he's the type of hitter, when you get into those grooves like that, it's tough to get him out. During that 12-game hit streak, he had 4 home runs. Over his last 14 games, there are the numbers: 5 homers now and 12 RBIs.
Changeup pulled foul. Full count now to J.D. Martinez. Mitch Moreland, a left-handed hitter, is on deck. The Red Sox have really done a number on right-handed starters. Right-handed starters against Boston this season are just 1-16. That's the individual starters record. As a team, Boston is 22-8 when a right-hander starts. Ball 4. Martinez takes ball 4, second walk of the inning. Second walk of the ball game.
And that's not bad. You had that first base open, a dangerous hitter at the plate. Now you can get that double play. Here are some of the numbers, Buck, that you were talking about. 1-16, the Red Sox, the one win. Masahiro Tanaka of the Yankees beat them. An ERA, the righties starting over 7 against the Red Sox.
As a team, the Boston Red Sox are 22-8 games played against right-handed starters. They have hit .279 against righty pitching, just .236 against lefties. Now they got a good left-handed bat at the plate in Mitch Moreland.
They've cooled off just a little bit since that hot start in terms of offense. They were averaging 6.5 runs through those first 19 games. Over the last 20, just 4.5.
Moreland has 3 career grand slams. The Red Sox have hit 6th so far this season.
Didn't they set a record or something? Hitting 6 grand slams before May 1st?
I believe you're right. I think they did. Bogarts had 2 early in the season.
That's right. I mean, think about that. That's clutch hitting with the bases loaded. Bogarts has 2. Betts, Devers, Martinez, and Moreland have the other grand slams this year for him.
Bases loaded. Way inside. Nick McGuire just called up from AAA Buffalo. Looks like he's been told, hey, just start to move around. I mean, he's not warming up with any sense of urgency. But they're going to let this inning play out. Biagini. Next pitch will be his 30th pitch of the inning. His pitch count up to 57. Two balls and a strike on a Red Sox first baseman. Moreland hit a ground ball to the second baseman his first time up. Biagini would love the repeat of that. Bradley's at third. He walked to start the inning. Betts singled. And then Martinez walked. He offered and went too far. 2-2 now.
93 with some movement on that. He was trying to get the ball down so Moreland can hit the ball into the ground. Get that double play. Joe Biagini's numbers suggest that he throws a lot of ground balls. They would love one right here.
Curveball. Moreland fouls it off. Long inning for Pomeranz, sitting on the Red Sox bench trying to stay loose. It's a cool afternoon despite the fact the roof is open.
Yeah, in the shade.
Cool.
In the shade, it's a little cool. I thought he might get up and start moving around a little bit.
Another 2-2 pitch to Moreland. Another foul. Moreland over his last 7 games coming into this game is at .414. It's hard to find a Red Sox hitter other than Jackie Bradley Jr. that's not hot.
Moreland's had a good month of May too, hitting .360 this month. 5 of his 6 home runs have come against right-handed pitching. He's trying to survive now with 2 strikes. Biagini's got to make a pitch. Wow.
That's a pretty good pitch and a crucial point right at the bottom of the strike zone, and it was called a ball. So now it's a full count.
Can't fault him. That was a very good pitch. Jerry Mills calls it low, but he threw the fastball where he wanted to.
Curveball hit hard, but foul into the seats down the right field line. Quite a battle put up here by Mitch Moreland against Joe Biagini.
There's been a few of those already. Long at bats. Jackie Bradley Jr. had a long at bat against Joe. This is another one.
So Martin thinking about how he can end this at bat. Offer up pitch to Biagini. Fastball is fouled straight back. This is the 8th time that Moreland has hit in the cleanup spot, and he has really fared well batting fourth. 4 of his 6 home runs have come while he's hitting fourth in the order, and his average coming into this game .467 hitting cleanup.
Hit lots of opportunities on this team with runners on base.
This will be the 10th pitch of this at bat. And he walked him. That'll force in a run. Jackie Bradley Jr. will trot home from third. That's the 3rd walk of the inning issued by Biagini. For Moreland, that's his 20th RBI. And the Red Sox have a 3-0 lead. Xander Bogaerts, he's hitting with the bases loaded. Still just 1 out.
Be careful on this first pitch. After a long at bat, 11 pitch at bat, 10 pitch at bat, he's ready for the first one.
Curveball for strike 1 to Bogaerts. .320 average for the season for the Red Sox shortstop. Remember, he missed some time with a fractured ankle. Betts has the only hit of the inning for Boston. Martinez and Moreland both walked. Fastball for a strike, down and away. Biagini is ahead 1-2. Red Sox got 2 in the first. They've scored 1 here in the 3rd. Ground ball. This should be 2. Urania, Solarte back to first. It is a double play. So Biagini gets the double play. The Red Sox score another run on a bases loaded walk. They've taken a 3-0 lead.
And today, they salute Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Brown, Chief Petty Officer Nancy LaChance, and Chief Warrant Officer Tracy Ann Fisher. They are representing the Army, Navy, and Air Force, and all three are moms as well. So happy Mother's Day to all, and that, Buck, is today's very special Sunday salute.
Special indeed to have three moms, all from the Canadian Forces, represented here, and we wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. Paco Estrada doing a terrific job of passing along the jerseys with the respective names on the back. Well, Blue Jays are down 3-0 to the Red Sox and Drew Pomerantz.
Could have been a whole lot worse last inning. Biagini came up with a big pitch to get Bogaerts, who had already hit 2 grand slams this season with the bases loaded. So they're still within striking distance.
That's a tough strike. It's 1-1 to Donaldson. Biagini got the ground ball. The Blue Jays are 8-11 against the American League East Division, while the Red Sox are 16-8. So this is a big win for the Blue Jays. They're going to come back and win this game, win this series against Boston.
Give you a lot of confidence before you head back out on the road.
Blue Jays will play a 2-game series at Citi Field against the Mets beginning Tuesday night. Jaime Garcia will start against Noah Syndergaard. Donaldson strikes out. 1 away.
That looked like a cutter from Drew Pomerantz. Well, maybe that finger is giving him problems. Normally it would go to his curveball, but we haven't seen one.
These are changeups and cutters to Donaldson in that at bat. Justin Smoke drew a walk his first time up.
There's a curveball.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Pomerantz is dealing with that fingernail problem. He hasn't really been sharp. He has thrown 25 balls and 27 strikes.
So you know what you do. You have to, and not every pitcher goes out there with everything working. Sometimes you have to improvise. That last pitch to Donaldson was a pitch we haven't seen yet today.
Three and 0. Pomerantz hasn't thrown anything close to Smoke. And misses again, so Smoke walks for a second, straight it back. Base on balls have been a problem for Drew Pomerantz this season. He has walked at least 2 in each of his starts. He started out on the disabled list and had a late start to his season. And there was Solarte. He was robbed of a base hit his first time up. What is that? Pomerantz just balked. He wasn't sure what happened, and he just kind of lost his focus. And I think like he's been distracted all day long.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe his spikes got caught. Yeah, you see his back foot, like his spikes got caught, or something wasn't real good when he was getting ready to throw that pitch.
One out. Solarte thought that ball was off the plate. It's strike 1. Third inning, Boston has a 3-0 lead, but there's certainly plenty of baseball left to be played here this afternoon.
Blue Jays have that magic this year that they get into that 7th inning and they can bust the game wide open. Just keep pecking away.
Solarte breaks his bat. Went after that inside pitch and pulled it foul. So he'll get a new bat ready for this next pitch against Pomerantz. Oh, and 2 is the count. Protects an outside part of the plate and fouls it back. We mentioned the Blue Jays are 8-8 against lefty starters this season, and as a team they've hit just .222. So far they only have 2 hits. Donaldson had a double in the first. Martin had a single in the second. There's the curveball, but it's bounced in the dirt.
Both of these starters have struggled to get their breaking ball over and get into a rhythm. So much time in between pitches. They both have had trouble just finding some smooth sailing.
Strike 3 called. Solarte is called out on strikes. That low fastball for strike 3. So Kevin Pillar will step to the plate with a man in scoring position. Last Mother's Day, he had a dramatic at-bat in the last inning.
Edwin Diaz, the super closer for the Seattle Mariners, comes in trying to set this game deeper, but Pillar says not so fast. Takes that ball out of here for a home run. Blue Jays a little walk-off action. Just about a year ago.
Home run.
Yeah, against a pretty darn good closer. Those kind of hits have got to give you confidence moving forward. Walk-off hits against really good pitchers. I think he's finally arrived, and he finally said, you know what? I've got enough experience in the big leagues now. I've been here. I've seen it all. I know I can play this game. That confidence level, I'm telling you, when you play here for a few years like he has and done some of the things that he's done, that confidence that I can do this goes a long way.
And he never panics now. He's confident he can hit with 2 strikes. No situation is too tough to handle. Jumps back from that inside pitch. Kevin has been more consistent this season than any other previous season.
And that's what you want as a player. Let me just get some consistencies. Had a 9-game hit streak in April. Also had another 9-hit game streak in April from the 26th through May the 3rd. Some 4-game hit streaks.
He's called for the swing. Gabe Morales, the down at first, rings him up.
But that's what you want. You want that consistency day in and day out. Baseball is so different from other sports because you play so many games, 162 games, and you just start building good at bats. You have good at bat upon good at bat, and it's not like you play one time a week and you put everything into that one game.
Down and in for ball 3. It's a full count. Kevin hit .324 in the minor leagues. He's always been a good hitter. He was the MVP in the Midwest League when he was at Lansing in 2012. He hit .322 that year, so he's always hit.
Tim Leeper was telling us the other day, said this is the guy I saw in the minor leagues. This type of player, confident, playing great defense, hitting with 2 strikes, hitting the ball all over the place. He was the best player he saw in the minor leagues a few years ago.
Covers that outside pitch to stay alive.
What a compliment that is. Saying you're the best player that you saw in the minor leagues, and now he has transitioned and he's taken that to the big leagues. Leap did some work before he was the first base coach here in the minor leagues for the Blue Jays.
Three and two to Pilar. Pulled foul. Drew Pomerantz has thrown 67 pitches, and now the catcher's going to go out and have a chat here. So Pilar trying to cash in the runner at second, Justin Smoak. Smoak walked, moved to second on the balk by Pomerantz. Smoak has walked twice this afternoon. Pilar drills it to left field, but that's going to hang up for Benintendi. That fielder makes the catch on the edge of the warning track. The Blue Jays have stranded 5 against Pomerantz through 3 innings, and they trail 3-0.
Includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Well, if you had MLB.tv, you could look around and find out that Johnny Vandermeer's streak is going to be intact. James Paxton has given up hits and runs today in Detroit. Rafael Devers broke his bat on that first pitch. In Cleveland, the Indians are putting it on the Royals early on. They have a 9-0 lead, but the significance in that ball game, Jose Ramirez, their third baseman, has a home run and a double already this afternoon. Yesterday, their leadoff man, Francisco Lindor, hit 2 homers and 2 doubles from the leadoff spot. It's the first time it's happened for an Indians leadoff hitter since 1964.
And who was that leadoff hitter?
Tito Francona, Terry's father.
How about that? And the Orioles just threw a 7-spot down on Tampa. It's now 11 bagel in the 4th inning.
Wow. Speaking of the Indians, Lindor's hit streak is now at a career high 14 straight games. They're starting to take off a little bit. Corey Kluber, he is the pitcher for Cleveland. Devers bounces it toward Donaldson, who is near second, and that's the first time in. Devers grounds out, 5-3 on the ground out.
You know who the Orioles got all those runs against? Blake Snell.
He was really throwing well.
Really pitching well. Not all of them. Not all of them.
Andrew Kittredge came in, and he did not get an out. He gave up 6 earned runs on 6 hits without getting an out.
And I don't think Manny Machado hit a home run.
Not yet. But he's 2 for 3. He's batting .348. This is Brock Holt. He struck out on a curveball his first time up. Hot shot. Urena at short, throws him out. 2 ground ball outs for Biagini.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Good crowd on hand here for this Mother's Day afternoon game. And you can see the Kevin Pillar replica jerseys with Superman's cape on the back. That was given away today to all the fans coming in. Christian Vasquez, the catcher. Vasquez made a bid for an extra base hit his first time up, a slicing drive down the right field line, but Teoscar Hernandez made a running catch to deny him.
Establish that fastball. Just throw it. Last inning, he tried to mix in that curveball to go through that lineup. Had a couple of walks, 3 walks, in fact. So this inning, let's see you use the fastball.
Two balls and a strike, 2 outs. We're in the 4th inning. Boston has a 3-0 lead. Ground ball up the middle. Solarte behind second. Good inning for Joe Biagini. 10 pitches. He retires the side in order on 3 ground ball outs using that fastball. on Monday and resume play on Tuesday. Jaime Garcia will start for the Blue Jays against the big right-hander Noah Syndergaard. That's a 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's the pregame show on Sportsnet 1. Tuesday, note the start time, 12:30 p.m. Again, the pregame show on Sportsnet. Jay Happ will go up against Zach Wheeler. Noah Syndergaard, that's right, he was a Blue Jays #1 pick in 2010. And after the season he spent at Lansing in 2012, he was traded in that big deal to the Mets along with John Buck, Travis d'Ormeau, for R.A. Dickey, Mike Nickias, and Josh Tolley.
He's having a pretty good year again. He's 2-1, big fireballer. We haven't seen him. I don't think he's ever pitched against the Blue Jays.
No.
Played the Mets the last time in 2015. Thought we were going to play him in the World Series. I mean, Blue Jays came that close to facing him in the World Series.
They had an opportunity in Kansas City in Game 6 to push it to Game 7. Russ Martin, the batter, with a 1-1 count. Martin singled in the second off Pomeranz. Go back to Syndergaard on that Lansing team in the Midwest League in 2012. He played with Kevin Pillar, Dalton Pompey, Carlos Perez, the catcher, Aaron Sanchez, Anthony DeSclafani, Justin Nicolino, and Marcus Walden, who has pitched for the Red Sox this season. They had a pretty good team.
That was their A-ball team. Wow. I hope they won.
They did. Martin takes strike 3. Fastball catches the outside corner. We mentioned we'll be in New York for Wednesday's afternoon game and then come right back here to Rogers Center. The Oakland A's will be in town for the first time, a 4-game series against Oakland. Another off day on the 21st, and then Mike Trout and the Angels will be here for a 3-game series before the Blue Jays head back out on the road and take on the Phillies. A 3-game weekend series against the Philadelphia Phillies, who are playing a lot better than anybody anticipated.
They are in second place, just a game behind another surprise team who we will see later on, the Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta's 23-15. The Phillies are 22-16, a half game back. Washington Nationals in 3rd place, and the Mets are hanging in there. They're 3 out.
That first series against Philadelphia is in Philly, right? Isn't that what that said? Yeah, the Phillies have the best home record in the National League.
15-6 at home. 2 more wins than any other National League team while playing at home. Morales with a 2-0 count. Three and 1 now. You look around baseball, there are some great division races heating up. The National League Central, Pittsburgh tied with St. Louis atop the league, and then Chicago and Milwaukee are half game back. Morales will take ball 4, a 1-out walk. That's the 4th walk issued by Pomeranz, and he hasn't had his good command.
No, he has really fought it today. He's just trying to grind his way through this game as far as he can go. Trying to give that bullpen a little bit of a blow. They've been used a lot lately for the Red Sox. Tough when you go out there to try and pitch and you just don't have your good stuff, but you got to find a way.
Anthony Alford was called out on strikes his first time up. The Blue Jays have had base runners in all 4 innings against Pomeranz. They have stranded 5 through the first 3. That gets away from Vasquez, and Morales will move up on the wild pitch. So that takes the Blue Jays out of a double play situation.
That's 2 innings in a row that they had a runner on with 1 out. Last inning they balked him to second. This time they're going to wild pitch him to second base. Curveball. Vasquez can't get down and keep it in front of him. Heads up play by Morales. To see that ball, it wasn't that far off the dirt, but he's able to advance without a throw.
Fastball for strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. Two and two now to Alfred. Blue Jays just need a hit to get back in this game. Get something going. As we mentioned, they've had base runners on in each of the first 4 innings of this game.
Somehow he has found his way out of it. He's got 5 strikeouts this afternoon. Palmeran's 4 of them looking.
And there's another. That curveball catches the outside corner. Alfred strikes out for a second time. That's 6 strikeouts for Pomeranz.
Another curveball to freeze the runner and the hitter. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus, the camera reimagined. Available now. Tell you, the catcher and the pitcher have had all kind of problems today getting on the same page. He was crossed up on that one. Vasquez, the catcher, again. They have gone through so many signs to try and get the hitters, and they're still not on the same page.
No, man, we have seen it throughout the course of this series. The Red Sox pitchers and catchers haven't been able to get together.
Watch the catcher. He's expecting fastball down and in. It's a curveball. Anytime a catcher comes out of his crouch like that, he gets crossed up, and they're using a host of signs, outside indicators, the finger signs, all kind, but they just haven't been able to get it together yet.
That's a fly ball to right. Mookie Betts a long run and makes a spectacular catch. Mookie Betts lays out, catches that ball just before it hits the turf. And we told you this outfield for Boston is terrific defensively. Blue Jays make a bid to score here. Urania drives it down the right field line. Mookie Betts saves a run for sure to end the inning. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. his glove as he has done here in this past half inning. Take a look at this effort by Betts.
We're going to stat cast this one. Look how far he's going to travel. He doesn't give up on him. Remember, that ball was slicing away from him. A catch probability of 17%, and he comes up with it. He won that Fielding Bible Award in 2016 and 17 as the Major League top defensive right fielder, and he shows you why right there.
Jackie Bradley Jr. walked to start that rally for the Red Sox in the third. He had a leadoff walk and came around to score the third Red Sox run.
There is no substitution for great defense. You know, you make plays like that, you get your team back in the dugout to start hitting. It gives everybody a lift, especially that pitcher. Here's another good defender at the plate.
Jackie Bradley Jr., the center fielder, he's really among the best in baseball. He throws very well also, much like Betts.
20 outfield assists over the last 3 years for Jackie Bradley.
Swinging bunt up the first base line. Biagini gets it quickly to Smoke, and Betts, Bradley's retired. Betts will come to the plate.
The Lawn and Garden event is on now until May 15th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Here's how.
Beautiful Sunday afternoon on this Mother's Day. The roof is open, and we are in the fifth inning. Mookie Betts will bat for a third time against Joe Biagini.
You were talking about Betts when we were showing that great play to end last inning. How he can beat you with the bat and the glove. When you start talking about superstars in baseball, all-round players who can do it all with the bat, the glove, the 5 tools that they talk about in baseball, he's got to be right up there. He and Mike Trout, guys who can do everything well.
And I think that is the real beauty of baseball. When you look at Mookie Betts, and if you didn't see him in a uniform, you'd think that he was just another guy on the street, not a world-class athlete like he is. He gets another base hit. Flares it into right center. His second hit of the afternoon.
Well, you have to be able to hit and maybe hit for some power. He's leading the American League in slugging percentage. You got to be able to run. He's got 6 stolen bases now this season. Play great defense and have a great arm. Those are the 5 tools that you are looking for from a well-rounded, all-round baseball player. He and Mike Trout come to mind. Maybe Correa and Altuve.
Manny Machado.
Manny Machado. He doesn't run like these guys.
That's right.
They steal bases. That's why they might be in a different category. The other guys can steal bases.
John Axford starting to loosen up now. Deck McGuire was up earlier. He is now taking his seat. 2 hits for Mookie Betts. It's his 16th multi-hit game of the season. That's tied for first in the American League. Benintendi takes ball 2. Benintendi is 1 for 2.
Really pounded that fastball in last inning and had a 1-2-3 inning. 3 ground ball outs in that 4th inning. And he's now fallen behind 3-0.
Mookie Betts is running on the 3-0 pitch. It's a strike, and Betts is safe at second. I don't see a runner run very often on a 3-0 pitch, but Betts picks up his second stolen base of the afternoon.
I'm sure he was thinking, well, maybe the pitcher will forget about me over here and concentrate on trying to throw this 3-0 pitch. Unsuccessful. Look at that lead. It's huge.
7th stolen base of the season, his second this afternoon. The Red Sox are now 25 for their last 26 in stolen base attempts.
We saw this yesterday from Betts, how he goes to the outside part of the bag and then brings his hand back in and keeps his fingers on the base.
Fly ball deep to left field. Alford backing up. He's stumbling and makes the catch. Betts goes back and tags at second, and he'll move into third. Anthony Alford got his feet all tangled up, and he was fortunate he stayed on his feet, and he made the catch just before he banged into the wall and left.
As an outfielder, you really want to turn your body. You never want to get yourself backpedaling. You start backpedaling like that, the ball starts jumping, and it can take off on you. Good catch, and another heads-up base running by Betts as he tags and goes to third.
So Joe Biagini throws 90 pitches, and his day comes to an end. With 2 outs, John Axford will come in to face J.D. Martinez, who has homered so far this afternoon. .140 earned run average, and this will be the 18th game of the season, and he currently has a 10 1/3 scoreless inning streak he's put together.
Yeah, one of those innings was on Friday when he came in after Aaron Sanchez's outing, threw an inning, had a walk, very clean inning, a walk, double play, and then a ground out. Very quick inning for Axford. It's become very reliable, and John Gibbons really likes to use the hot hand, and this is a big part right here. You got a dangerous hitter at the plate, another runner on base, so he wanted a guy with a little bit better fastball in there against Martinez.
J.D. Martinez has homered and walked so far this afternoon. Martinez is 2 for 5 going up against Axford. He has hit a home run against him. J.D. Martinez has now reached base in 18 straight games. Mookie Betts at third base. That's with 2 singles and 2 stolen bases so far.
Axe brings some firepower out of that bullpen. He has had at least 1 strikeout in 13 out of those 17 games this year. Of course, the development of his 2-seamer that we've talked about has been a big pitch for him. He's got a pretty decent curveball also.
Line drive, base hit to right. Betts comes in to score, and J.D. Martinez has his third RBI of the afternoon. He's driven in 3 of the 4 Red Sox runs.
You know, you can see why Mookie Betts scores so many runs. He gets on base, but he stole and got himself into scoring position. He tagged up and went to third base on that long fly ball to left field. Now he can trot home after this base hit by Martinez. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for the 3 and 4 hitters in this lineup when you've got Mookie Betts leading off for you.
For J.D. Martinez, his second hit of the ball game. Moreland goes after that first pitch. Martinez at first now has 17 multi-hit games this season. That's the most in the American League. And you're right, when you have guys like Mookie Betts in front of you, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to drive in runs.
Yeah, he's going to get himself into scoring position all by himself for you, either with a hit or an extra base hit. He leads American League in extra base hits, so he's going to get himself into scoring position all by himself.
Betts says the only thing that matters to him is scoring runs. He said that never goes down. Your average goes up and down, your OPS goes up and down. You score runs, they can never take one away from you. And that's how you win games, by scoring runs. Good job by Russ Martin. Ball in the dirt.
Well, they did the right thing, putting him back in the leadoff spot.
Alex Cora had a very positive impact on Mookie Betts. The first-year manager said, hey, man, you use your skills and turn it loose whenever you feel like it. Moreland is called out on strikes. Axford strikes him out. Another strikeout for Axford, but he gives up an RBI single to J.D. Martinez. Boston with a 4-0 lead. We'll take a look at Double-A New Hampshire. Jordan Romano from Markham, Ontario is 6-0 early in the season. Look at his whip, 0.97. And Sean Reed Fuller, who is starting today in Double-A, looking for his 6th win against no losses. He's got a very good ERA at 183 and a whip also under 1. 2 very highly touted prospects pitching at Double-A.
Yeah, for a team that's 19-12, they're in second place behind the Trenton team. That's the Yankees Double-A team. They've got some prospects on that team. The pitching side of it, the 2 we saw right there, are the pitching leaders by far. Jordan Romano's won 6 out of his 7 starts. Reed Foley leads in ERA and strikeouts and whip. Romano in wins and strikeouts.
Teoscar Hernandez gets a leadoff base hit. His first hit of the ball game. That's only the 3rd hit for the Blue Jays. He sat back and looked for that curveball and rips it up the middle.
You know, he makes great adjustments at the plate when you watch him. It was 1 month ago today that he showed up in Cleveland when the ball club was there trying to spark this team, and he's done nothing but hit since then. 19 extra base hits in 1 month.
Josh Donaldson doubled his first time up. He struck out in the third. Strike one for Pomerantz. Donaldson has not homered since that doubleheader in Cleveland. Had a home run in each of those 2 games. He has 5 on the season.
Two pretty good fastballs right there.
Put him in a good spot, didn't he? Down and away. Another fastball inside. To finish up a story down in Double-A, Kevin Biggio, the second baseman, he gets overshadowed by Guerrero and Bichette, but Biggio hit his 10th home run today. He has 10 home runs. He's hitting .290, and he's driven in 27 runs.
And the front office has taken notice. They know that he is doing a pretty good job for him.
Base hit for Donaldson. He finally got that breaking ball he was looking for.
You know,
he took the first 2 strikes, both fastballs. Fastball inside, and then Pomerantz came back with the curveball.
And if you're paying attention and you're reading bats and reading the at-bats, you could tell he was waiting for that one slow curveball. He finally got it with 2 strikes, times it up, hits it hard into left field. I thought maybe they would just keep pumping fastballs after you watch him take those first 2.
He had a plan.
Yeah, they played right into it.
Justin Smoke has walked both times he's come up. There's a fastball strike. Smoke hasn't seen too many pitches he could hit. Pomerantz has pitched around him both times he's come to the plate today.
And kept the ball away from him.
That's the pitching coach, Dana Lavangi. And the bullpen starting to move around down in right field for the Red Sox. Bounced in the dirt. The Blue Jays, as a team, haven't fared very well against left-handers. You see their team average at .222, but Justin Smoke, far and away the best average. Steve Pearce is on the DL. He's hitting .293 for the season, and then it drops way down to Josh Donaldson and Teoscar Hernandez.
So they got the right guys at the plate this inning.
Hector Velasquez worked in the game yesterday. He's starting to get loose. He threw just 6 pitches in an inning of work. He gave up the pinch hit single to Urania, then got Hernandez to hit into a double play and Donaldson to ground out. Smoke drives it in the air deep to right field. Mookie Betts is not going to get it. Up against the wall. Hernandez is going to score. Donaldson's right behind him, and Smoke has made it a 2-run game.
That's why we show you those stats against left-handed pitching when Smoke is up. Because he could smoke it. That was another ball that was away from him. They finally have to pitch to him because there's a couple of runners on base, no place to put them. They kept the ball away from him, and he's got power the other way. Four-seam fastball goes right with it. You got to hit a ball hard, and you got to hit it far to get it out of Mookie Betts' reach. He almost came up with it. But it's extra bases, 2 more RBIs, and Blue Jays are right back in it.
Justin Smoke has now reached base in 11 of his last 18 plate appearances against Drew Pomeranz. 2 walks and a 2-run double this afternoon. He likes what he sees when he's facing Pomeranz. Yervis Solarte, he's 0 for 2, called out on strikes back in the 3rd. That's going to hook foul. Hit hard, but foul.
Just a little bit out in front.
The Smoke double was the first hit for the Blue Jays with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 9 prior to that hit. Now they're 1 for 10 and back in the ball game. Nobody out. Pomeranz has now thrown 96 pitches. He has to complete the 5th inning to qualify for a win.
His manager is thinking about winning the game right now.
Managers are funny like that, aren't they?
Blue Jays have had 3 good at-bats, 3 straight good at-bats against him this inning.
Solarte goes after that high hitter.
Hernandez with a single to center field. Donaldson with a 2-strike base hit to left field. And then that double by Smoke. Just like that, Blue Jays have that tying run at the plate.
Solarte. Just keep the line moving. 3 straight hits in this inning. Donaldson is 2 for 3. Boy, he had a plan that last at bat. He took a couple of fastball strikes, got a fastball inside for a ball, and then got the pitch he was looking for.
Got the curveball that he wanted.
Solarte fights off that high fastball. Solarte leads the Blue Jays with 9 home runs. He also leads with 23 RBIs. He had that big 11th inning grand slam in the game 1 of that doubleheader in Cleveland. Vasquez did a great job on that ball in the dirt.
Tell you what, if he loses Solarte here, that might be it. We got Pilar, Martin, a couple of right-handers coming up after Solarte. Velasquez should be loose by now.
Once again, the analytical aspect of this game is playing out. 3rd time through the order. Solarte sees that breaking ball and fouls it on. 3rd time through the order. Hernandez singled. Donaldson singled. Smoke doubled and drove in 2. Pomeranz has thrown 101 pitches now with nobody out in the 5th. He threw 27 pitches in a very long 1st inning. Solarte's on everything that Pomeranz is throwing right now.
Timing up that curveball. I don't think I'd ever tell my pitchers what their numbers are 3rd time through. I don't want them to think about it.
They know.
Well, then I just hide it from him. I say, I need 21 outs from you today. You figure out how to get them.
Wow, and that 21 outs was always a standard for starters, a minimum of 7 innings.
Sure. I don't care how many times you face a guy. Figure out a way to get him out.
Full count to Solarte. He walked him. And that's going to be it. Alex Cora is out of the dugout. He's got Velasquez ready. And he can't wait any longer. There's the call to the bullpen. So Pomerantz came into this 5th inning with a 4-0 lead, and he can't get an out here in the 5th. Hector Velasquez will come on with a couple aboard. Kevin Pillar will be the hitter. Guests from one of TD's community partners on a beautiful Mother's Day. Welcome to the ballpark. New pitcher into the game for the Red Sox, Hector Velasquez.
Well, we've already seen him one time in this series. How about this? In 9 games, he's got 4 wins. This has been where he has pitched. A little bit of a good luck charm. He has a chance to win it if he can get out of it. Just fastball, slider, a little bit of a split change. Doesn't walk anybody. He's going to be around the plate. So the Blue Jays have it sitting there for him. 2 runs in already, 2 runners on base, still nobody out.
This is just the 2nd career appearance for Velasquez in this ballpark. He appeared in yesterday's game, gave up a hit in 1 inning of work. Kevin Pillar, the batter, had a big cut at that first pitch.
That's what you like to see. With runners out there, being aggressive. You got 3 swings when you're up there. Take advantage of all 3 of them.
Looked like a pretty good pitch, and Velasquez didn't get to call. It's 1-1 on Pillar. Pomerantz threw 103 pitches, did not get an out in the 5th. 4 innings plus 4 batters. He's on the hook for the 2 runners on base. Pillar goes after that inside pitch.
This is when he's done a lot of his best work with 2 strikes. You saw the first 2 swings. Now he can cut it down just a little bit. Maybe shoot the ball to right field or back through the middle.
You talk about consistency. Kevin has a 4-game hit streak intact, looking for his first hit of the ball game.
That's a sneaky little fastball. right there. It just registers 92 miles an hour on the gun. But he pitched yesterday an inning through 6 pitches, and that fastball looks like it's surprising some of these hitters.
Smoke had a 2-run double to the alley in right center. Solarte walked. He's at first. Still nobody out. Boston has a 4-2 lead. Splitter in the dirt. The Blue Jays here at home have an 11-10 record. The Red Sox on the road have played very well. They're 16-8. Looks like the umpire, Warren Velasquez, about the baseball. Now the second base umpire, Ed Hickox, is going to rub up the baseball because Velasquez went to his mouth and didn't wipe. If that's the case, it could have called a ball.
Could have called a ball and make it 3-2.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Pilar. Boy, he's hanging tough with 2 strikes.
Made a couple of tough pitches, those last 2. Running that fastball inside. He's got a good feel for pitching. A little deception. Yeah, it's Kevin's day. So it's time to do something dramatic.
Make everybody happy. Pilar hit a walk-off home run last Mother's Day against Seattle. Good take. And Splitter down and in. Full count now. Lorenas will stay put. Smoke at second and Solarte at first. It's only the 5th inning. Both starters are out of the game. So it's a battle of the bullpens.
And the bullpen for the Blue Jays so far in this series has been outstanding.
Another splitter and Pilar strikes out. It's the first out of the inning. Pilar, the 5th Blue Jay to bat this inning.
Lots of strike throwing ability. There's the split change. Showing a lot of confidence, throwing it 3-2 to Pilar. He's got Kevin out in front. It's a big out.
Catcher Russell Martin is 1 for 2. Little flare over the head of the shortstop. Smoke's going to come around third and he'll score. Russell Martin with an RBI single, his 2nd hit of the day, and it's a 1-run game.
What a great read by Justin Smoke at second base. When you are out at second base, you try to take a look at where all the outfielders are playing and where the shortstop's playing. So if there's a flare or a line drive into the outfield, you know if you can go or not. Again, there's only 1 out. Watch him at second base. Read it, and he takes off. He knows that that ball's going to fall safely. If there's any hesitation on his part, Louis Rivera is going to have to hold him up. But he reads it, and now Rivera can say, come on, go on home, and he can score without a throw. Good read.
Kendrys Morales has walked twice. Goes after the first pitch. Velasquez goes to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. But the Blue Jays score 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Big blow in the inning. A Justin Smoke 2-run double to the alley in right center for Smoke. RBIs 21 and 22. Russell Martin added 1. It's a 1-run game.
in Dunedin. Fast forward some 20 years later, and this updated picture shows the two back where it all started at spring training. Casey called it one of his favorite childhood photographs, although at the time, Casey said his father told him he was pretty ticked off at carrying that equipment bag. Casey said when he was drafted by the Blue Jays Buck in 2017, his dad, quote, was pretty fired up about me going to Toronto.
Absolutely, and Casey Clemens has just been promoted from Midwest League Lansing to Dunedin. In Lansing, he got off to a great start to his season. Casey Clemens hit .301 with 7 home runs and 25 RBIs in his first 27 games. Then he was promoted to the Florida State League, which is very competitive and the highest A-ball league that the minor league system has.
Older players, a little bit more experience, especially from the pitching side. Bigger ballparks, too.
Xander Bogaerts goes after the first pitch. Anthony Alford, you better get there, and he does. Anthony had one drop in front of him here a couple nights ago, and that time that ball hung up there long enough for him to utilize that great speed.
Yeah, the top is open today, so there's a lot of wind. There was a lot of wind the other day. I was talking to some of the players after that day, and the ball really fooled them. This time, he learned his lesson. Ran hard after that one to haul it in.
One out for Rafael Devers, the young third baseman. He shows bunt against that shift. Urania, the only defender on the third base side of second. Donaldson, the third baseman, is playing basically at straightaway second. Solarte's in the outfield.
And if you're struggling to swing the bat, you're facing a tough pitcher like John Axford, why not take a shot? You got one defender to beat.
Axford's going to make this play. Gets off the mound and throws Devers out.
And that's the one defender he couldn't beat. He punted it right back to him. What you're trying to do is you're just getting it by the pitcher, and you're saying that defender is so deep, I'll take my chances of racing him to first base if I can get the ball by the pitcher. But he can't get it by Axe, and Axford makes the play.
Brock Holt takes the first pitch strike. Axford came in with 1 out or 2 outs in the 5th and gave up an RBI single to J.D. Martinez and then struck out Moreland to end the inning.
It's a good looking pitch. He's got such movement on that fastball. When you throw it inside to the lefties, can't give up on it.
Joe Biagini started for the Blue Jays. He went 4 2/3 through 90 pitches, charged with 4 earned runs on 4 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 3. Ball goes back to the screen. Brock Holt is 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. He came in to this game against the Blue Jays 8 for 14 against the Jays for the season. He had a great series here the first time Red Sox were here back in April.
Every time you looked up, he was coming up and getting big hits for him.
Axford with another good play. Good inning for John Axford. That's what you want. You score 3 in your half of the inning. John Axford throws up a 0 in the top of the 6th. Just 8 pitches for Axford.
Start your night with the Blue Jays on Thursday, May 17th. The first 15,000 fans in attendance receive a Curtis Granderson t-shirt. Join us pregame in the WestJet flight deck for live music and entertainment. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Looks like Curtis Granderson stepping into at the plate, Bud.
He sure is. He's going to pinch hit once again for Anthony Alford. Alford struck out twice, both times looking. Curtis is 3 for 8 as the best Blue Jays pinch hitter. He has a couple of pinch hit RBIs.
It's getting late early, so you got to start using your bench. Curtis here in the 6th inning will lead off. Blue Jays are down a man on their bench. Only 3 bench players now.
It's the 3rd time in this series Curtis has come up as a pinch hitter. He drew a pinch hit walk against Matt Barnes on Friday night in the 10th inning. He grounded out against Craig Kimbrell in the 9th to start that inning yesterday afternoon. Fourth 3 ball game. Blue Jays have actually out-hit Boston 6-5.
The big story, 7 runners left on base already for the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays are just 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position and no 7 base runners left on. Boston has stranded just 3, but they have the lead. Hector Velasquez came in last inning with nobody out, got a strikeout of Kevin Pillar. Russell Martin had an RBI single, then Kendrys Morales hit into an inning-ending double play. That's that splitter he throws, and he'll throw it to lefties and righties.
Way to battle back from 0-2 to 3-2. If you're wondering about Velasquez, does he have the ability to throw multiple innings? He sure does. He's had a couple of starts this year for the Red Sox. The most he has thrown this year is 5 2/3, but coming out of the pen, he can give you 2 or 3.
Granderson drives it in the air. Jackie Bradley Jr. makes a running catch with his back to the infield. 1 away.
Well, we've already seen a great catch by Mookie Betts in right field. Benintendi, he can play center field. He's playing left field, but the best of the bunch is Jackie Bradley. He gets a great jump, times his leap, and hauls that ball in. This is a good outfield. They haven't committed an error this season.
For me, this is the best outfield in the American League. They cover a lot of ground. They have strong arms. They have great range, and they work very well together no matter how they are aligned. We have seen Betts play center. We've seen Benintendi play center. But this is their best alignment.
Absolutely. And they're between them, the 3 of them, they have 6 outfield assists already this year.
Richard Urania batting left-handed for the first time this afternoon. He was 0 for 2 against Drew Pomerantz. He was robbed by Mookie Betts, that play Pat was talking about. Urania hit a ball slicing down the right field line. Betts left his feet and made an inning-ending catch. There's a base hit for Urania. Bradley over to cut it off. Urania makes a big turn, but Bradley gets it back in quickly.
Robbed of a hit his last time up. Blue Jays would have scored a run if not for that play. So he takes it on himself to get a base hit. Turn that lineup over, get those better hitters. It's a changeup, straight change. Stays on it and lines it back through the middle. The number 9 hitter is so important, isn't it? You get them on base. The firepower that is at the top of the the lineup. Now they've done it again.
Yeah, he has gone to his mouth again, and Jerry Meals has warned him. Last inning he warned him.
I think he's trying to blow on his fingers, and he's not letting him do that. Saying, could he go and blow on his fingers because he's cold?
And that's what Christian Vasquez just explained. You can't blow on your fingers today. That's generally established at the start of the game.
See?
And that's what he was asking the umpire. That gesture to me suggests, hey, can I blow on my hand? And then he held his palm up as if to say, is that okay? And now John Gibbons is wondering what the issue is, because had he gone to his mouth, it could have been called a ball. We talked about that before. So Christian Vasquez went out there to explain it in Spanish to Velasquez to make sure he understood. Teoscar Hernandez got the rally going back in the 5th with a leadoff single off Pomeranz. That's been an effective pitch for Velasquez. That split change he throws with that grip that dives. It's still pretty firm at 85 miles an hour.
And he's got enough fastball to get it by you. This is 2-0. So we saw him strike out Pilar on a 3-2. Same type of pitch, and now he throws a 2-0 to Teoscar. You can't look for it. I think he's got enough fastball where you can't look for it and then adjust to that fastball. You just have to be able to see it out of his hand.
Throws it again. You can see all those pitches are low out of the zone. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Hernandez.
These types of pitchers, and I mean long men who can give you multiple innings, I think are going to become very valuable. If the starter gets knocked out in the 4th or 5th inning, you need somebody to cover 2 and 3 innings. Blue Jays got that from Sam Gaviglio the other day.
Well, it has worked very well for Velasquez. He's 4-0. And when you have the type of offense that the Red Sox have, if you're a middle relief pitcher and you throw up 2 or 3 innings of scoreless ball, you're going to win some games.
You're going to win, and he's got 4 wins already. There is Sam Gaviglio. He's starting to warm up for the Blue Jays.
3-2, 1 out. And Urania dives back in safely ahead of the throw.
He looked like he wanted to run. Got a guy who's throwing a lot of splitters.
Not running. Foul tip as Hernandez got a piece of it.
Those splitters generate a lot of ground balls.
That's going to slice down the right side into the seats out of play. Well, that's the approach you have to take against this guy. You got to stay back and let that ball come to you. With that single his last time up, he extended his personal hit streak against Boston to 5 straight.
Got to really see that ball out of his hand. Can't guess with him.
There goes the runner. This is popped in the infield. Urania has to hustle back toward first. Bogarts, the shortstop, makes the catch.
The
the 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
One-run ball game now. Josh Donaldson is 2 for 3. Hit a double in the first and had a single and scored in the fifth. Donaldson is a smart hitter, isn't he?
Yes.
He watches when a pitcher comes into the game. He watches what he is using as his out pitch. And he'll put that in his memory bank.
And he understands himself better than anybody. What he's capable of doing, what pitches he can handle, and he'll sit on pitches, look for certain pitches.
Fastball on the corner at 91. Donaldson's got a battle now. He's behind 0-2 with 2 outs. Urania at first with a 1-out single. Donaldson strikes out. That ends the inning. The Blue Jays get a base hit and they leave a base runner. They've stranded 8 so far this afternoon. In any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you out there and to all those here in the ballpark. Pink is very abundant here this afternoon.
We need to say Happy Mother's Day to our wives, too.
Absolutely, our wives. My wife, Arlene, your wife, Susan.
Happy Mother's Day.
Everything that they have done for us and our children over the years. We couldn't get it done without you.
Absolutely. Sam Gaviglio, his second game. His first game was on Friday against these same Red Sox and actually picked up the win with 3 outstanding innings of relief. A hit and 3 strikeouts in that game. He was pick up John Axford, who was outstanding in his inning and a third.
Gaviglio is very impressive as he just mixes his pitches and throws so many strikes. And, you know, he won't line up the radar gun. He won't throw you a devastating knee-buckling breaking ball. But, boy, he throws a lot of strikes.
A lot of strikes. He's around the zone, strike zone, keeps the ball down. 3 very impressive innings with 3 strikeouts. He's had some Major League Service time with Seattle before he got here. with the Blue Jays. He shut down those Red Sox when we played extra innings, played 12 innings on Friday.
The Blue Jays bullpen pitched 7 of those 12 innings, and they pitched very well.
He was the only one to give up a hit. That was a single to Holt. That was it.
Up the middle, Solarte backhands, rights himself, and fires. Vasquez is retired. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. "17 runs on 19 hits for the O's. Manny Machado has 3 hits. Danny Valencia has 4 hits and 4 RBIs. And Joey Rickard is back for the minor leagues. He's 3 for 5 with 5 ribbies. Valencia has homered. Rickard has homered. And Dylan Bundy certainly riding the ship. 7 innings of 2-hit ball, no runs against Tampa Bay. And Blake Snell got roughed up early for Tampa Bay.
That might be one of those days where you have an extra guy finish out the game. Matt Barnes starts to get up for the Red Sox.
Gaviglio is 27 years old. He is from Southern Oregon, Ashland, Oregon to be exact. He pitched at Oregon State. Was drafted by the Cardinals in the 5th round, 2011. Made his big league debut with the Seattle Mariners right here at Rogers Center last season. He signed with the Cardinals and then was traded by the Cardinals to Seattle for Ty Kelly, who spent some time with the Blue Jays. Middle infielder.
He pitches. That's the difference. There's throwing and then there's pitching. He pitches. All around the strike zone. There you go.
2 up, 2 down for Sam Gaviglio. He strikes out Jackie Bradley Jr.
Well, you set it up with a fastball inside that just is off the plate, and you come back with a split change. Watch this ball dive down and away, and Jackie can't come up with it. That's what pitching is all about. Keeping the hitters off balance and making good pitches.
Mookie Betts 2 more hits this afternoon. Betts had a 3-hit game yesterday. Took the collar on Friday night. So for 5 Friday night in that extra inning game. Back and forth with velocity, in and out with location.
Yeah, just a little bit more on that fastball. That one surprised Mookie Betts. Now you take a little something off. And you get him out in front, and he pulls it. Now you're ahead 1-2.
Two pitch to Betts. Called strike 3. Impressive inning by Gaviglio. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays trail by a run. Smoke, Solarte, and Pilar due up for the Jays. off. It leads for good.
Fifth inning, and the Blue Jays are down by 4 runs, but they're rallying. They've got a couple of runners on base. Up comes Justin Smoak, and with one swing, they cut that lead in half. He gets it over the head of Mookie Betts for 2 runs. Hernandez and Donaldson score. Justin Smoak with another double. He's up to 22 RBIs. That's our drive of the game this afternoon.
Smoak is now 1 RBI behind Solarte for the team lead in that category. Matt Barnes is into the ball game. Barnes pitched on Friday night in an extra inning game. He pitched the 10th inning.
Yeah, he ended up walking the leadoff batter, but then pitched around that. Among AL relievers, 4th in holds with 8. And opponents are hitting just 127 against Barnes.
Smoak gets a first pitch breaking ball. Barnes actually walked the first 2 batters he faced in the 10th inning. And then struck out Pompey, who was up there trying to bunt. He would bunt foul on the 2-strike pitch. And then Hernandez lined out to right, and Donaldson struck out. Smoak has walked twice and had that 2-run double. Reached base all 3 times this afternoon. High fly ball. Jackie Bradley Jr. moving under it, and Smoak's retired. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Kyle Hendricks, the pitcher against Lucas Giolito for the White Sox. It's a 3-2 game in the bottom of the 5th at Wrigley.
Looks like the Cubs are starting to make their move. They're just a half a game out of first place now. Started talking about the pennant races. I guess it's time to start talking about the pennant races, isn't it?
You know, the teams are, into their season. This is the 41st game for the Blue Jays. Quarter of the way.
Yeah, usually they talk about, well, Memorial Day. You don't talk about the pennant races until you get to Memorial Day.
60 games in.
Yeah. But there's some good ones. You mentioned that National League Central. The National League East is the same way.
2-0 to Solarte. Looked like he was looking for that breaking ball. Solarte, he's over 2, but he drew a big walk in the 5th. That was the last batter that Drew Pomeranz faced. So Velasquez then inherited a 1st and 2nd situation with nobody out. He struck out Pilar, but Martin had an RBI single to drive home the 3rd Blue Jay run. There's a base hit for Solarte. Bradley Jr. cuts it off. Solarte with a 1-out single, his first hit of the afternoon.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Well, you can see all the Kevin Pillar Superman jerseys. They were part of a giveaway here today on Mother's Day. Kevin's mom, Wendy, threw out the first pitch prior to the start of the game. Kevin was the catcher for Wendy. So it's about time he did something for his mom.
This would be a nice time to do that.
7th inning. And you know what that means.
That means the Blue Jays are right where they want to be.
Time to score some runs. They've been the best in the majors, scoring late. That's going to hook foul into the seats, out of play. The Blue Jays have had problems lately coming up with hits with runners in scoring position. Today they have really struggled in that category. 2 for 13, and they've stranded 8. Kevin Pillar now with 2 strikes. He's behind 0-2. He struck out his last time up against Velasquez. Pillar strikes out, second out of the inning.
Pretty nasty stuff from Matt Barnes over the last 2.5 weeks. Pillar's hit .381 against right-handed pitching with great at bats, so you better come up with good pitches to get a good hitter, and he does. That's pretty nasty. You can see how he grips the baseball. Gets it with that split grip like he throws a splitter, and then puts it into his glove. Got a good overhand curveball, that split, and now a good hard fastball.
Russell Martin with a 2-hit afternoon. Russell had an RBI single into left field his last time up. He drove in the 3rd Blue Jay run. Ripped past the 3rd baseman down the left field line. Solarte's around second. He's headed for 3rd. Benintendi plays it in. They're waving him home. Here's the throw from Bogarts, and he is out at home. So Luis Rivera waved home Solarte with 2 outs. And the Red Sox execute the cutoff and relay to perfection. Russell Martin with a 3-hit afternoon. Benintendi digs it out down in the corner. Bogarts makes a strong, accurate throw to the plate. Vasquez puts the tag on Solarte to end the inning.
it down. But the whole play, the Red Sox didn't panic. Benintendi gets it, and his job is get it back into the infield as quickly and as accurately as possible, then let the infielder take care of the rest, and that's what Bogaerts does as he gets Solarte. There's the tag before he gets to the plate. Vasquez lays it on Solarte, who came very close to getting underneath that tag. That's 4 outfield assists now for Benintendi.
Yeah, and they've done a good job with their cutoffs and relays in this series. They had one here on Friday night in the 9th inning when they nailed Pilar at third in a tie game. It was Benintendi in center to Brock Holt to the third baseman Nunez to cut down Pilar, trying to stretch a double into a triple.
That's all your job is as an outfielder on an extra base hit. Get it as quickly as possible back to the infield as accurately as you can. Hit the cutoff man. He'll do the rest.
2-2 now to the leadoff man here in the 8th, Andrew Benintendi. Sam Gaviglio, his second inning of relief. He had a perfect 7th inning with a couple of strikeouts. And you look back to that throw from Bogaerts, the shortstop. He didn't try to throw it 100 miles an hour. He just took his time, made an accurate throw to the catcher. Knew he had plenty of time, but you're right. No panic in there.
Nope.
Cutoffs and relays.
Just take it nice and easy. Slow. When you start going too fast, that's when mistakes happen. Bogaerts catches this one hop. See his angle also. He gives himself an angle. It's not right on the line. He's about 5-6 feet inside that line, so he can have a good angle to throw it towards home.
So you eliminate the prospects of hitting that base runner as he's making his way toward the plate. Gaviglio's done a good job of pitching to the edges of the strike zone. Another pitch right on the corner. We're in the 8th inning. This is the rubber match of this 3-game series. Blue Jays won the opener in 12 innings, 5-3. Red Sox won 5-2 yesterday. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. (17-1) for Baltimore. Rays have a run on 4 hits. That's it. Yeah, that's all you can do when you give up that many runs early and you have to finish up with the pitcher. Just kind of make it as light as possible as you can.
Yeah, take some of the pressure off. No sense burning out a guy for an inning. Let a position player get in there.
JD Martinez is the batter. He swings and misses. It's a ball and a strike. Martinez has had a 3 RBI afternoon. He had a 2-run home run in the first, a RBI single in the 5th. That gives him 105 RBIs in 104 games since last season's All-Star break. That's the most in the majors over that time period. He's had 4 ribbies in this series.
Mission accomplished. They needed another bat in the middle of that lineup. The talk was Giancarlo Stanton before he got traded to the Yankees. Boy, wouldn't Stanton look good on this team? I think JD Martinez is a better fit with this team. Better hitter, average wise. Gaviglio faced him the other day and struck him out.
Heath Hembree getting loose for the Red Sox. Matt Barnes gave up a couple of hits in the 7th, but kept the Blue Jays from scoring. One and two now. The Blue Jays have out-hit Boston 9-5. Boston got a 2-run home run from Martinez in the 1st inning and an RBI single. Mitch Moreland drew a bases-loaded walk. That's the difference in the game. There goes the runner. Martin's throw on the shortstop side of the bag, and Benintendi has another stolen base. He is 7 for 7 for the season in steal attempts.
He waited one more pitch so he could get a breaking ball to run on. And not much that Russell Martin could do. Breaking ball down and away, backhands it. Got too big of a jump.
We talked about Betts and Benintendi in this series. They have combined for 5 stolen bases. Another aspect of their game on how they can beat you.
3 today. Mookie's got a couple, and they've scored a couple of runs.
Combined, the top 2 hitters in the order are 3 for 7 with 2 runs scored and 3 stolen bases. Big strikeout for Gaviglio. He gets Martinez swinging. Just check in again with Jamie Campbell. Thank you very much, Jamie. There have been a few walk-offs over this weekend. Eric Hosmer had a walk-off for the Padres. Neil Walker had one yesterday for the Yankees. Of course, Luke Maile, he had a walk-off here on Friday night, a 2-run home run in the 12th inning. They are finally playing in New York. They had a lengthy rain delay. They're in the bottom of the 1st. The Yankees have already scored 2 runs. Brett Anderson on the hill for Oakland. Luis Severino is starting for the Yankees. The Yankees have won 20 of Severino's last 23 starts.
That's an ace right there. He can shut you down.
The Yankees have won 18 of their last 21, and they've averaged over 6 runs a game. That's a base hit right at the right field, and they're going to stop Benintendi as Moreland rips a base hit, one hop right to the right field, and Benintendi had to hold at 3rd.
Yeah, he got a good break at second base, but because the ball was hit so hard and right at Teoscar Hernandez, they can't score him. Moreland's been on base twice now. John Gibbons looks like he's going to go to his bullpen.
Gaviglio gives up a leadoff walk, then strikes out Martinez, and a base hit to Mitch Moreland. Tyler Clippard into the ball game to face Xander Bogaerts. to get started, but now they're underway at Yankee Stadium. Tyler Clippard comes on to face Xander Bogaerts with runners at the corners. There's just one out.
Got to stop it right now. So Clippard's had a save for the Blue Jays. Looks like he's going to be moved into that, back into the bullpen for Toronto. He's been very effective both versus the righties and the lefties this year. He can get your share of ground ball outs. That's what they need right now. You got a tough hitter coming up in Xander Bogaerts, who's left 3 runners on base today.
Gaviglio goes an inning and a third. The runners on base are his responsibility. Benintendi at third and Moreland at first. Xander Bogaerts, shortstop, has gone 0 for 3, grounded into a double play in the third. Clippard has been terrific. Lefties, righties, it doesn't make any difference. He can handle them equally effective.
Uses all of his experience to get those outs. He's got plenty that he can go to. A little slider every now and then, splitter, great changeup. And he'll determine who he's facing, the type of batter he's facing, and then attack him with all of those pitches. He needs a pop-up, a strikeout, or a ground out here.
Ball and a strike to Bogaerts.
Worry about Bogaerts in that changeup. He's a very good off-speed hitter. Stays back, keeps his hands back really well on that changeup.
There's the changeup. He stayed back and takes a blow for ball 2. Bogaerts coming into this game a career .297 hitter here at Rogers Center. Two and one. Clippard trying to save these runners on base, keep it a 1-run game. Bogaerts thought it was outside, and he asked the home plate umpire, and he might be right. Clippard got a call there. 2-2 now, and Russ Martin out in front of home plate to give the infielders the defense should that runner at first take off.
I don't know if they're going to try and steal a run here. They don't have really the right guy at first base. They got a little bit more speed at third base. This is where Bogaerts does his best work with 2 strikes. Got to really make a pitch.
2-2 to Bogaerts. Ground ball. Clippard knocks it down, and he's only going to get the out at first. He got ahead of himself. Thinking about a double play. He couldn't field it cleanly. Benintendi comes in to score. And Bogaerts will be credited with an RBI.
Came off the turf right there, and it just hits right in the heel of the glove. And you can see how Tyler's upset. He had a chance to get out of the inning. Couldn't field it cleanly. It'll be an RBI for Bogaerts, and he can only get the out over first. It's a big add-on run.
5-3 Boston. The runner in scoring position. Moreland's at second. So Bogaerts picks up his 18th RBI. That's a big run for Boston. Gives him a 2-run cushion here late in the game. popped up on the infield. Urania, the shortstop, is there, makes the catch, and Clippard gets out of the inning, but the Red Sox get a big run. Benintendi scores the 5th run. Time now for a Blue Jay Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio. Or later, they have scored 77 runs, 2 more than the Yankees. Braves and Astros also good late in the ball game, and the Blue Jays are going to have to come up with at least 2 here, and they are now in the 8th inning, and they're going to deal with a new pitcher.
Yeah, clutch hits too have been big for the Blue Jays from the 7th inning on. Clutch home runs. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it against a new pitcher. Heath Embry will come in. He's got closer type of stuff. A little bit of a slow start this year at 571, but he's won 2 games out of that bullpen. He's got a big fastball and a decent breaking ball. Slider, curve, and the big fastball. He throws hard enough that he could be a closer.
Kendrys Morales, a couple of walks, and he grounded into a double play so far this afternoon. Ball on the strike. Little slider underneath the bat of Morales. It's 1-2.
He's averaged a little over a strikeout an inning this season, but batters have hit 294 against him. Hard fastball, again a good slider, and that's been the problem for Kendrys, that breaking ball low in the strike zone.
Rips this one to right, and that's going to get down for a hit in front of Mookie Betts. He stayed on that breaking ball, a leadoff single for Morales.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King, available at your local home hardware. Here's how.
Beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center. The roof has been open all day. There's not a cloud in the sky. And Curtis Granderson will get his second plate appearance. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th for Anthony Alford. Fight out to center field. Breaking ball for ball 1. Well, we showed you Blue Jays are the best in baseball at scoring late. Granderson represents the tying run.
There are players who can hit And then there's players who can hit when the pressure's on. And I think the Blue Jays have a few of those guys who can hit with the pressure's on. Late in the ball game, their numbers show it. They really keep their game plan going late in the ball game. They can really zero in, laser in that concentration.
Wow, that didn't look like much of a swing, but Ron Copa at third base calls Granderson for the swing on that check appeal.
He
Curtis
called that?
appeared to check it. Might have gone a little further than it looked. So now it's 1-2. Granderson hit that walk-off home run against Craig Kimbrell back on April 24th. That was his 4th career walk-off home run. He swings and misses at the hard slider. 1 away.
That home run was off the fastball. It got ahead and got a fastball from Kimbrell. This time he falls behind. He's got a deal, and here's the slider. That's how you average a little over a strikeout an inning.
Richard Urania had a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Today he made his first start at shortstop this season. You talked about the importance of the number 9 hitter getting on base. It worked for the Red Sox in the 3rd when Jackie Bradley Jr. walked and came around to score a run. Urania got a base hit with 1 out to turn the lineup over. And they'd love for that to happen here now to get Hernandez and possibly Donaldson up this inning.
Yeah, and they would represent the go-ahead run.
Hot shot to third. Devers has to wait on Holt, and that will allow Urania to beat it out. Devers came up and Holt wasn't there yet because they were playing Urania to pull, so he waited for Holt to get to the bag, knowing full well that's all they were going to get.
Yeah, sometimes you have to play percentages, and they were playing deep and they were playing Urania to pull. Normally you'll have the second baseman shortstop a little bit closer to the bag and double play depth. Devers didn't panic. That was the important thing. He caught it, he had plenty of time. He double clutched a couple of times to get Holt there.
I'll tell you, Oscar Hernandez is 1 for 4. Most home runs since September 1st when Hernandez was called up last season. Only Josh Donaldson has more home runs on the Blue Jays than Hernandez.
And he had some big home runs against the Red Sox last September. Hit 8 of them in the month, a couple of them against the Red Sox. They've been dealing him a lot of breaking balls now.
Fastball upstairs as Vasquez has mixed it up a bit. You're right, they have thrown him a lot of breaking balls, but they throw 2 fastballs through the first 2 pitches of this at bat. Another fastball at 94. You mentioned Hernandez hit 8 home runs last September. His last 3 home runs were all at Fenway Park against Chris Sale, Heath Hembry, and Brandon Workman.
Okay, let's do it again.
Hembry's on the mound. The home run he hit off Hembry was a 3-run home run. This time he strikes out Hembry. Strands a base runner. So we'll go to the ninth. Boston with a 5-3 lead. Card. We are going to let you take a screenshot of this and send it to your mom email. Love you, Mom. The grounds crew did this earlier today, and then we got a shot of it. You can see they're preparing the mound, and this is several hours before the start of the game. They did a nice job with that. So we want to thank them for that, and we want to wish you all once again a very happy Mother's Day. And we are in the ninth inning of this third and final game. Brock Holt strokes it into left center. He is headed for second. Pilar's throw is on line, but a little bit late. Brock Holt picks up his first hit of the afternoon, a leadoff double here in the ninth.
He's had big games against the Blue Jays already this year, and Red Sox trying to add on. He's going to hustle his way for this double. Inside out swing. Ball is slicing away from Pilar. You can see Kevin at the top of your screen. He is shading him towards left field. This is his ball all the way. Tough to stop on a dime and then get something on your throw, him back to the infield.
Vasquez, the catcher, smoke in at the edge of the grass, expecting a bunt. He's not showing bunt and takes a ball down. Well, Blue Jays already down by 2. They are scheduled to send Josh Donaldson, Justin Smoke, and Solarte to the plate in the bottom of the ninth, so you can ill afford to fall any further behind. They've got the big bats coming up.
This is the chess match right here. Blue Jays defense versus what Vasquez is doing. They're letting them hit away.
And Clippard falls behind 2-0. Deck McGuire has just joined the Blue Jays earlier today, called up from AAA Buffalo. Dalton Pompey was optioned back to the minor leagues. Changeup fouled out of play. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Trying to hit the ball to the right side. You can see his swing. The hands are coming first. The barrel's a little bit behind it.
Still trying to hit that ball on the right side of the field, but he fouls it back. It's 2-2.
And if you're an infielder on the right side, Smoke Solarte, first and second base, a line firm ground ball to you. You still have a shot now to get that guy at third base. He's going to freeze momentarily and make sure that ball is on the ground. Don't take it for granted that you can just get the out over at first base. If it's hit hard to you, be ready to throw the ball to third.
That's going to slice foul down the right side. Vasquez is 0 for 3 so far. Fly ball, a couple of ground ball outs to the second baseman. Tyler Clippert came into the game with 1 out in the 8th. He had a double play ball that he could not field cleanly and recorded just 1 out. That may have gotten him out of the inning had he been able to get the ball to second. Xander Bogaerts hit a ground ball back to the mound. He went to field it, and in his rush to get the ball towards second, he kicked it around, and all he could get was the out at first. That allowed Benintendi to come in from third.
At Bogaerts an RBI. The Red Sox a big insurance run. Trying to do the same thing here now in the 9th.
3-2 pitch to Vasquez. Another foul back. Joe Biagini was the starter here this afternoon. He went 4 2/3, charged with 4 earned runs on 4 hits. Give up a 2-run home run to J.D. Martinez in the first. He walked 3 in the third, including a bases loaded walk to Mitch Moreland. Fastball fouled out of play. The 4th run charged to Biagini came in to score after he was out of the game. J.D. Martinez had an RBI single off of John Axford to drive home Mookie Betts. Popped him up. Smoke shading his eyes with his first baseman's glove and makes the catch.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Boston trying to win this series 2-1. They have a 2-run lead in the top of the 9th. Jackie Bradley Jr. scored a run in the 3rd after drawing the leadoff walk. The changeup floats off the plate outside for ball 1 to the number 9 hitter. There's a strike. Jamie Campbell had been following some games around baseball. In Chicago, the White Sox have taken a 5-3 lead over the Cubs. They scored 2 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th. Chicago Cubs have just 2 hits.
They're either really, really hot or really, really cold offensively. There goes Holt.
There goes Holt, and Donaldson will get there in time. Brock Holt It's the second time we've seen this from the Red Sox. They believe that they can steal third when they have a left-handed batter at the plate.
And a shift on. They feel like their analytics can tell them that they can steal in certain situations against certain defenses. That looked more like a delay steal by Holt, but it didn't catch anybody by surprise. 3 quick hops, and then he takes off. Josh beats him to the bag. That's a big out.
Especially big out now after that base hit by Bradley. A 2-out single. When Vasquez was tagged out earlier in this series, it was Russ Martin who was the third baseman. This time Donaldson is there in plenty of time to tag out Brock Holt.
You know, all I know is I want to get Mookie Betts to the plate and guarantee as many times as possible. Him running and getting thrown out didn't guarantee until that base hit that he was going to come to the plate.
Two outs now for Betts. He's 2 for 4 so far. But you're right. You got Holt in scoring position. You're already up by 2 runs, and no matter what Jackie Bradley does, Mookie Betts is going to come to the plate with a chance driving a run.
That's right. Guaranteed that the best hitter in the American League, by far all the stats, will come to the plate with a runner in scoring position in a 2-run game. Him stealing third base does nothing.
There goes Bradley. Martin's throw, strong throw, not in time. Another stolen base for the Red Sox here this afternoon. That's their 4th stolen base.
Speed again. They call for the outside fastball. Russell sets up. That's like a pitch out. And they still can't get him. Bradley is now 3 for 3 on the season in stolen bases.
Boston had a long streak of stolen bases successfully snapped yesterday, but that hasn't stopped them. 4 more steals today with 1 caught stealing. Mookie Betts, good swing. It's 2-2 now. Joe Kelly, and it's not Craig Kimbrell loosening up. Kelly pitched the 8th inning yesterday and had 3 strikeouts. Kimbrell pitched the 9th. He retired to side in order, and he had 2 strikeouts. It's so difficult not to get the call on a tough hitter like Mookie Betts when you think you've made a good pitch.
You got to come back and throw a better one. Both Clippard and Russell Martin thought they had him struck out.
And Betts will walk. The Red Sox have 4 stolen bases this afternoon. That's the most they have had this season. The previous high was 2. They had 2 stolen bases, 5 different games this season, but they have doubled up on that today.
They've had a few this series, haven't they? Betts have one in yesterday's game. Benintendi had one in Friday's game.
Andrew Benintendi goes after the first pitch. Solarte makes a nice play, throws the first, and the Red Sox will leave a pair. So Tyler Clippard pitches around a couple of hits, a walk, and he keeps it a 2-run game. Joe Kelly will get his 3rd save opportunity of the season, coming in for the bottom of the 9th.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's the best time to find a Honda you'll love.
It has been a beautiful Sunday Mother's Day here at Rogers Center. And the Blue Jays are going to have to rally here in the bottom of the 9th. They trail by 2, and they're going to have to do it against the hard-throwing right-hander Joe Kelly.
Yeah, not Craig Kimbrell. He's worked 3 out of the last 4 games for the Red Sox, so he is probably down. So they'll turn to a guy who throws just as hard. Kelly is 2-0 with a .245 earned run average, threw a scoreless 8th inning yesterday. He had a season-high 3 strikeouts in that game, 4th hold of the season. Kelly's got good stuff too.
He hit triple digits in the game yesterday. Josh Donaldson has a career .571 average against Kelly. Look out. First pitch up and in. Maybe Kelly knows the numbers as well. Donaldson with 2 home runs and 9 ribbies against Kelly.
That's a good time to back off. You mentioned the triple digits. This fastball up and in. Backs JD off the plate.
Donaldson gathering his thoughts after bailing out on that first fastball. Donaldson is 12 for 21 against Kelly. Gaudy numbers indeed. A check swing, topper toward first. Donaldson's retired. So 1 out now, Justin Smoke.
Kelly's got that good fastball, and he was going to run it up and in once again and got the check swing out. He's had a strikeout of at least 1 batter in 12 straight appearances. So you got to respect that fastball.
Blue Jays need a base runner. Justin Smoke's been on base 3 times today. He walked twice and had a 2-run double. He is 1 for 2 officially. Goes after the first pitch and hits it high and deep to center. Jackie Bradley Jr. waits on it, and the Blue Jays are down to their last out. Smoke had a good pass at that first pitch fastball, but hits it high into center field. So Solarte, the Blue Jays' last hope, trying to keep the game going. Solarte is 1 for 3 with a walk. He was thrown out at home plate in the 7th inning on a terrific cutoff and relay from Benintendi to Bogarts to Vasquez. Nailed at the plate for the 3rd out of the inning. He goes after the first pitch, and that should be the ball game. Holt to Moreland, and that's it. The Red Sox win the finale. They improve to 12-1 in series finales this season. They take the series 2-1.
Blue Jays had all kind of chances today. They had 10 hits. They coaxed 5 walks from the Boston Red Sox, left a runner on in every inning but the last one, and fall a couple of runs short.
Joe Kelly picks up his 2nd save. Once again, Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi doing some damage. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great Mother's Day. We will see you Tuesday night from New York. Stay tuned. Now here's Blue Jay Central with Jamie, Joe, and Cliff.